Republicans just can't say no to their fringe. It happens time and time again. And a case in point now is conservative Republican Paul Broun of Georgia, who's no stranger to fringe ideas. He held a town hall meeting this week. The local paper, the Athens Banner Herald, sent a reporter to cover it. Here's what he reported. Quote, at Representative Paul Brown's town hall meeting on Tuesday, the Athens congressman asked who had driven the farthest to be there and let the winner ask the first question. The question is, in the back of the packed Oglethorpe County Commission chamber, got a big laugh. Now, are you ready for what the question was? It was, quote, who's going to shoot Obama? Brown's press office confirmed that that was the question and the one that got the big laugh. By the way, two witnesses say Congressman Brown also laughed. Now, this is what Congressman Brown said in response to the question, quote, the thing is, I know there's a lot of frustration with this president. We're going to have an election next year. Hopefully we'll elect somebody that's going to be a conservative, limited government president. Now the incident, of course, has become national news. Now, 3 days after it happened, Congressman Brown did what he did not do in front of a laughing audience. He's finally acknowledging that it was wrong to ask who's going to shoot Obama. Here's part of Brown's paper statement. Quote, I was stunned by the question and chose not to dignify it with a response. Except for the fact that he actually did. Remember, Brown did respond, according to the newspaper report and another witness. He placated the questioner by saying, I know there's a lot of frustration with this president. That is not the right answer when somebody's talking about shooting the president. Now, Brown's statement goes on to say now, quote, after the event, my office took action with appropriate authorities. I deeply regret that this incident happened at all. Furthermore, I condemn all the statements made in sincerity or jest that threaten or suggest the use of violence against the President of the United States or any other public official. Such rhetoric cannot and will not be tolerated. Except in this case, it was tolerated and even encouraged with laughter and an acknowledgement of a lot of frustration with this president. Brown tolerated it until it became a PR problem for him. Congressman Brown probably owes his career to the fact that there's no tape of this yet. But tonight, one of his colleagues lies in a hospital bed, and he laughed at the idea of shooting a politician, and that is beyond unacceptable. Joining me now is the Reverend Al Sharpton, president of the National Action Network. Reverend Sharpton, should he resign?
I think that he seriously violated the faith of the office, particularly in this post-Tucson era. I mean, all of us have to deal with fringe elements on whatever side of the political spectrum we may stand. I think we have a responsibility, I've learned that the hard way, an obligation, in fact, to say right on the spot, wait a minute, that's not what we're talking, and especially after Tucson, that he wants to condemn it. Even if you felt the person saying it was saying it in jest, you don't know who's in the audience, you don't know what nut could be there and feel like this is acceptable. With a member of Congress standing there, I think that it is a horrific kind of posture.
And it's not just the guy who made the comment, it's the people who are laughing, because you're worried, because you don't know who they are, right? The Secret Service can't go and find out all they are. You don't want to encourage this stuff. But Brown, this is not the first time he's made crazy statements. Let me read one other one to you so we have context on this guy. He said, that's exactly, referring to Obama on November of 2000, he said, that's exactly what Hitler did in Nazi Germany, and it's exactly what the Soviet Union did. When he's proposing to have national security force that's answering to him, that is as strong as the U.S. military, he's showing me signs of being Marxist. We may have a problem with that type of philosophy of radical socialism or Marxism. Not referring to an absurd thing that had nothing to do with anything. Of course, there's no paramilitary force. But when he continues to make statements like this, how do we get a member of Congress to act responsible?
I think that, one, you're doing the right thing by calling him out, and I think we've got to have boundaries for discussion. We cannot use extreme rhetoric, calling the President of the United States or his policies Marxist or socialist, is just to exacerbate those kinds of tensions that lead to nuts doing things that none of us want. And I think that we have a responsibility, whether we're elected or not, in the public eye. And I've learned that over my career, that you've got to condemn it, you've got to condemn it forthright, because you cannot give any kind of consent with silence to people that may have any kind of crazy thoughts germinating in their head.
Now, Reverend Sharpton, look, it's not just Brown. Boehner doesn't want to denounce the birthers because birthers are a huge part of his base. You know, they're trying to appeal to these guys. Rush Limbaugh, conservative commentator, of course, comes out and talks about, oh, this is all about reparations, and this guy's going to come for your money, and Obama's doing that. And then I want to give you one more shot here from Broun, a video from Broun, and give you a sense of where his head is at on this. Let's watch.
But if Obamacare passes, that free insurance card that's in people's pockets is going to be as worthless as a Confederate dollar after the war between the states, the great war of Yankee aggression.
Is there a racial angle here? I mean, he's talking about calling the Civil War the Great War of Yankee Aggression.
Great War of Yankee Aggression.
Yes.
Not the defending of the Union, not the fight against slavery, but the Great War of Yankee Aggression. I mean, now that is about as un-American and racially offensive as you can get.
All right, Reverend Al Sharpton, very clear on this. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, now coming up.